Dr. Stephen Lee, we're in your microbiology lab here at the University of Ottawa, and I understand that Nature magazine is going to be publishing one of your latest findings, which is quite incredible. In essence, you've uncovered the missing link in Louis Pasteur's life without oxygen theory. Can you just tell me a little bit about that, and in layman's terms, as best as you can, explain to me what it is?
Okay, right. About 150 years ago, Louis Pasteur discovered fermentation. That's a process of making ethanol while you're making beer or wine.
Yes.
And Pasteur essentially discovered that living beings or cells can live in the absence of oxygen.
Yes.
We have a lot of oxygen around us. We adapted to that. Now we can live without oxygen, but the last 150 years, we struggle to understand how can we do this. How
Yes.
can we climb the mountains and adapt in the high altitude where
Yes.
there's little oxygen? And we discovered the mechanism that cells use to live when there is no oxygen.
Now, there's people, as you mentioned earlier, in Tibet that live at very high levels of altitude. And can you just give me a little bit of the history of that and how that relates to your more recent discovery?
Well, what's very interesting is that there were a couple of high-profile papers published about a year and a half ago, where they found that the gene, that Tibetan that live up in the mountain,
A place where we could not live.
No.
Well,
we could, but it would take us a long time to adapt.
Right.
But these people thrive over there. They live their daily
Daily
life over
lives.
there.
Yes.
And essentially, they have a gene that was mutated about 20,000, 25,000 years ago. And that gene is that was mutated exactly the gene that codes for the protein that we've uncovered. Makes the cell adapt to low oxygen.
Could you describe for me how this might have ramifications in cancer treatments and research?
Yes. So what we discovered a couple of years ago, and people have reproduced this data, is that cancer cells utilize this pathway. So it's a protein synthesis pathway.
They utilize this pathway of no oxygen?
Exactly. So cancer cells hijack this pathway. They should not use this pathway.
Why do they hijack this pathway?
Oh, that we don't.
To grow?
Yes, to grow and to form life-threatening tumors.
Okay. And sorry, they hijack this pathway of no oxygen, and by discovering
this pathway,
yes,
now it's going to be relatively easy for us to go and inhibit this pathway for people living at sea level, and essentially prevent the cancer cells from growing because they're not going to be able to hijack this pathway.
You were very conscious earlier about making sure that I photograph specifically everybody in your team. And I'm very humble about this, but you know, I think even you can recognize, as you said jokingly, that you can die now with this, right?
Well, it is the goal of any scientist in the world to publish a paper in Nature. And we've achieved that. It's great for the university, for the Faculty of Medicine, and for the City of Ottawa.
Right. You must be very proud, right?
I am.
And of your team as well.
Of course.
Yes.
Great team.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.